Have some respect, humans! As there are many species of animals that have been roaming the earth for literally millions of years. From the frog that succeeded to hide from us for millions of years, to the ancient Komodo dragon that was donated to the Oval Office, and a turtle whose bite can snap through your bone. Here are the magnificent ancient creatures that are still alive today. The pig-nosed turtle. The name is obviously because of its striking nose that resembles a pig. Well, as we all know that tortoises and turtles are pretty ancient, this one is also living for about 140 million years. These days, they are quite famous as people keep them as exotic pets. People and their trends, am I right? Wait a minute, I'm people. Maybe I should go buy one too. Pig-nosed turtles can grow to about 70 to 75 centimeters in length with a weight of over 44 pounds. Jawless fish. These fishes have been around since over 500 million years ago. Most of these early fishes are now extinct, but a few remain, including lampreys. And boy, do they appear primitive. They have cartilage instead of bone and a long eel-like body. They don't have a jawbone, but instead a round open mouth called an oral disc. They feed on dead and dying fish. Find them in muddy bottoms, moderate depths, and cold water around the tunnels they dig. I know they do look like some sort of dangerous extraterrestrials, but there's no risk or danger to humans associated with them. Echidna. This strange animal resembles a hybrid between an anteater, a badger, and a porcupine. It is actually referred to as an echidna, a monotreme, a category of early mammal that, like their well-known relative, the platypus, lays eggs rather than giving birth to live young. Due to their small size, propensity for nocturnal activity, and solitary and dispersed lifestyle, these species can also be challenging to locate in the wild. A number of echidna species are also critically endangered, which is terrible, given that these animals have probably been on the planet for some 17 million years. The best option if you want to view an echidna up close and personal is to go to one of the zoos in New Zealand. Komodo dragon. Man, this big lizard scares the bejesus out of me. Do you know that the species is around 40 million years old? These mighty lizards are the heaviest and largest to crawl on the earth. Well, obviously, since all the dinosaurs have got extinct. Many researchers even believe that these are the descendants of the dinosaurs that have evolved directly from them. But the scary ones have died, and now we have these little ones. Well, who's mighty now, huh? Purple frog. These little mischievous creatures coexisted independently for about 100 million years, but have recently been discovered in 2003. I mean, whoa! The guys managed to hide from humans for so long. That's because these pig-nosed frogs spend much of their life underground, emerging briefly for a few days each year at the start of the monsoons to mate. Aha! At least that brought them outside. The discovery of the purple frog in 2003 sent ripples of excitement through the scientific community. This unique amphibian is found exclusively in one of the hottest hotspots, the southern Western Ghats of India. The vampire squid. Well, that name sounds dramatic, right? But in reality, the innocent octopus isn't that scary. Even though it's named the vampire squid, it doesn't resemble any of that. Just because taxonomists liked that it had a dark color, they named it that. Not nice, guys. Have some respect, as the vampire squid is around 165 million years old. The grandpa lives secluded deep in the ocean where there's no oxygen and uses its bioluminescent organs to thrive in the deep waters. People also call them the vampire squid of hell, but contrary to that, they're not aggressive and don't even suck any blood. And lastly, did you know that they have 3 hearts? How adorable! Horseshoe crab. Are these ancient, tank-like looking little creatures even crabs? Well, no. They may look like prehistoric crabs, but are actually more closely related to scorpions and spiders. But they aren't actually dangerous at all. Horseshoe crabs have been around since roughly 445 million years ago, and some believe it is even older than dinosaurs. Today, you can find millions of horseshoe crabs in Delaware Bay as the clunky, helmet-shaped creatures return to the beaches to breed. The horseshoe crab has a hard exoskeleton and 10 legs. More interestingly, they have the pair of legs that's closest to their mouth, which they use to move the food closer to their mouth. But the most interesting part is their blue blood. Believe it or not, their blood has even played a part in the COVID-19 vaccination efforts. Before we move any further, like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon so you can keep watching our amazing content. Goblin shark. This weird-looking shark is the most debatable among marine lovers due to its peculiar shape. Do you know that it is called a living fossil? Now, why is that? This is because the shark doesn't like to be bothered and rarely makes an appearance. It was first captured in 2000 by a lucky fisherman when it was about 12 feet long and at a depth of 3,600 feet in the water. GHARIALS. Even though they appear scary, these are the most timid species of crocodilians and do not attack unless provoked or being captured. They are the Asian version of crocodiles and are pretty endangered. Previously, it was found in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh, Nepal, and Bhutan, but now they only survive in the waters of India and Nepal. Hence, they are listed as critically endangered. Their fossils go back to about 200 million years old and are said to be one of the oldest living animals. Frilled shark. Another secretive shark that resides deep in the ocean is the frilled shark. As scientists know very little about these sharks, there have only been 2 known species. They are also called the oldest surviving member of the shark species, as the data from their fossils suggests that they date back to 95 to 300 million years old. Comb jellies. Isn't this so cool to look at? Do you know that this one holds the title of the oldest living animal on the Earth, with its oldest fossil dating back to nearly 500 million years old? Not only that, they are also very beautiful jellyfish, with their pulsating bells and long trailing tentacles that generate rainbow-like colors. Cassowary. These are the most exotic and beautiful birds you'll ever see. But wait, don't drown in all the cuteness, as it's also one of the most dangerous birds you're ever gonna see. The cassowary is known to slash opponents' throats using its dagger-like toenails. Although a flightless bird, it makes up for it by its sheer strength. Despite its size, the animal has been observed to move at a fast pace, sprinting as fast as 31 miles per hour. If you keep their killing abilities aside, the bird is beautifully adorned with blue, red, orange, and black colors. They are also tall, bipedal, and have a huge ornament on the top of their heads. Did you know that the female, after mating with so many males, lays the egg and abandons it? Then the male comes in to care for the child until it's capable on its own. Shoebill. The most distinct feature that makes it stand out from all other birds is its shoe-shaped bill. In Uganda Wildlife Education Center, they've trained the birds to bow down and let the visitors touch them if the visitor bows first. But if you don't bow to this majestic bird, you are gonna get an attitude. Yeah. White rhinoceros. White rhinoceros are large herbivores that have a distinct light-colored skin, lighter than the black rhino with a large horned snout at the front. They've been roaming this earth for approximately 2 million years. The white rhinos are further divided into 2 subspecies, the southern white rhino and the northern white rhino. But the sad part is that the northern white rhinos are kind of extinct, with only 2 females remaining, both in captivity, while the last male died in Kenya in 2018. The southern, on the other hand, is also in the near-threatened category, but they are still thriving in the wild due to various conservation movements. Polar bear. These not-so-cuddly bears have occupied one of the coldest regions on Earth for about 1.5 million years. Scientists have even speculated that they probably wandered off to a glacier during the last ice age. Don't fall for their cuteness though, as these are the most ferocious animals on the planet. Did you know that they're actually black and not white? This is because their fur is translucent and reflects visible light, hence appearing white. However, the skin underneath the fur is of jet black color that soaks up the sun's rays and helps them keep warm in the icy cold temperatures. Alligator snapping turtle. Now, what do we have here? Personally, I think that these two animals should be separate, right? Do you know that this guy is known as the dinosaur of the turtle world and is among the largest freshwater turtles in the world? What a flex! The turtle, however, is quite rare to spot in the wild, as it's been declared as near endangered by conservation authorities, and it's said that they are roaming on the planet for about 90 million years. Stay away from them, as alligator snapping turtles can snap through bone with a bite force of 1,000 pounds. The adult ones are even known to kill and eat small American alligators. Wobbegong shark. If you're not looking carefully while on a tropical Pacific reef dive, you might miss seeing a wobbegong shark. In fact, these creatures are specifically trying to hide from you, using their flattened bodies, frilly edges, and camouflage patterns to blend in with an algae-covered rock. But once they start swimming and you see their smooth white bellies, the jig is up. There's no mistaking a swimming wobbegong. These sharks lived some 11 million years ago and are still found in a couple of different species. Then most are too small to harm people. As with most sharks, it has the ability to sense its surrounding environment using electroreception. Since they live their lives with low activity, this allows them to sense others from a distance during mating season, so they are able to locate a potential partner. Chambered Nautilus. These corkscrew-shaped animals are among the oldest on the planet and often inhabit the deep ocean near Australia and Indonesia. Their 500-million-year-old fossils were discovered and are identical to their living relatives in every way. The Nautilus essentially builds its own dwelling as it expands, constantly residing in the outermost chamber while constructing additional ones inside in a spiral pattern. Because their eyes are like pinhole cameras and lack lenses, they have poor vision. They rely on an abundant array of peculiar, suckerless tentacles to locate and consume food scraps, which they then smash with their strong beak. Even though they are challenging to breed in captivity and their wild population is in decline, some of the first baby nautiluses were successfully born in captivity in the spring of 2018. Chinese giant salamander. Jurassic Park may seem far-fetched to you, but they're actually animals from that time period that still roam the Earth today. One of these is the Chinese giant salamander, which is said to be 170 million years old. It can grow even bigger than some people, reaching a maximum weight and length of 110 pounds. It is also the biggest amphibian in the world. The abundance of these enormous salamanders in the frigid mountain streams of China has been greatly reduced as a result of poaching for traditional medicine and food. Nevertheless, if we piqued your interest, the Prague Zoo still houses one amazing specimen of this species. At a massive 77 pounds, Carlo, one of the largest living Chinese giant salamanders, is now in good health and should live for many years to come. Musk oxen. Musk oxen can be quite a sight to behold, especially during the fall rutting season. During this time, bull musk oxen fight for control of harems by sprinting towards each other and bashing their heads with such force that it can shake the ground from a long distance away. It's a wonder how these animals still survive, but it's estimated they've been around for 187,000 to 129,000 years. Currently, there are several thousand musk oxen in Alaska, though their numbers have been declining in recent years. The lifespan of a musk ox is from 12 to 20 years in the wild and up to 27 years in captivity. musk oxen have a stocky build and a pronounced shoulder hump. But the most famous thing is their wool, which is some of the finest and warmest in the world. Vicuña. Speaking of luxury wool, another prehistoric animal known for its fiber is the vicuña, the ancestor of the modern-day alpaca. The two animals look very similar indeed, though vicuñas have a distinctive color pattern, with white undersides and a brown saddle across most of their bodies. In the past, they were close to being extinct, but thanks to the work of many dedicated conservationists, there are hundreds of thousands of vicuñas in the wild today. If you want to take a look at them, you can see them on rural roads in south-central Peru. The lifespan of vicuña is about 15 to 20 years in the wild. In captivity, however, they can live for up to 24 years. Today, the vicuña is mainly wild, but the local people still perform special rituals with these creatures, including a fertility rite. Lake Sturgeon. Speaking of old fish, another amazing aquatic animal is the lake sturgeon. This ancient fish actually swam around with the dinosaurs, having shown up on the map some 150 million years ago, and it still swims around the United States today. This bizarre marine animal has no scales, only rubbery skin and a few rows of bony scutes, and can grow to be over 7 feet long and weigh 300 pounds. Imagine seeing that swim by while you're dipping your toes in a lake this summer. Sturgeons are long-lived, late-maturing fish. Their average lifespan is 50 to 60 years, and their first spawn does not occur until they're around 15 to 20 years old. But lately, it seems like the lake sturgeon populations are dwindling due to climate change. Today's open discussion is a picture where a man is tackling a croc's jaw, filled with razor-sharp teeth, by sticking a paddleboard in it so that it won't try to bite him. Do not try it for yourself, peeps, as it might be a movie scene of some sort or an art installation. Do you guys know something about this? Do tell us in the comments section, and let's move forward. Sandhill crane. This large, long-legged bird is on Earth for around 2.5 million years. Sandhill crane participates in annual migration. Their migrations are very impressive and can span from as far away as Alaska and Siberia to Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and Florida. They have been observed to fly up to 400 miles in a single day. Just like the other migratory birds, the sandhill cranes return season after season to the same nesting territories. These birds are now under threat of being declared endangered due to the fact that their breeding habitats are getting destroyed. Tadpole shrimp. Evolution didn't even touch this tadpole shrimp, which is often regarded as a living fossil. Well, that's because of its appearance that has remained almost unchanged for the last 220 million years. These hardcores are even capable of surviving drought periods easily. Their internal mechanism is built like that. They actually need ponds to dry out in between years in order to trigger hatching. These amazing animals also have an extraordinary life cycle. During drought months, their eggs lay dormant waiting for rain. Once the pond fills, the eggs hatch. Some eggs even remain dormant for many years, in some cases, decades. Whoa! This means that if a pond dries out before the adults have had time to breed, all is not lost, and the cycle can continue the next time the pond fills in. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching the video till the end. See you next time!